Geocaching-maniacs.
Geo Gearheads.
Hey, welcome to Geo Gearheads. This is a weekly show about geocaching and geolocation games. I'm Chris of the Northwest, along with our host, Daryl W4.
Good to be back again, and in such interesting weather out here. I hear you guys have been having some interesting weather as well.
Yeah, it's raining today, but we've got some of the coldest weather. We had the coldest day in October to record. It was 35 yesterday morning, so that's a little chilly.
We're still having days in the 80s, and this is not your typical,
Trade?
nice 80s that you get during the summer weather. This is the 80s where it's like so sticky that the rain is literally forming as you walk by. It is like,
it's so fresh.
So we actually have tried to do some of the geocaching, and you'll start off in like the low 50s,
mm-hmm.
and then it gets up to the 80s. So
mm-hmm.
It's like no matter what you do, you can't dress right for it. But we've tried to do some geocaching. One, we're just having a really hard time finding the caches. But two, we have a very hard time dealing with the nastiness, because it's like you're freezing, you got all the fleece and everything on.
Mm-hmm.
But then next thing you know, you're boiling and the sweat's pouring down, and you're still cold when you take off your jacket because it's only, 60 degrees.
Layers, Daryl, layers.
Yes, but it's not layering well because of the humidity. It's like wring out the fleece when you're done.
Yeah.
And it's not the sweat. It's like leave the fleece on the deck of the car, the back deck,
mm-hmm.
and it will get soggy. Meanwhile, I'm hearing from the guys in our San Francisco office that you no longer need to take public transit. You just have to make sure to schedule it right, bring your umbrella and your rollerblades, and you can go anywhere in the city with the wind that's blowing through.
Interesting.
And it's a lot faster than the public transit.
Sail skating? What would they call that?
Yeah, umbrella sailing.
Umbrella sailing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's incredibly windy out there, apparently. So, it's like everywhere I'm just hearing these stories about how interesting the weather is. And we're going into Halloween, which always gets me excited because
mm-hmm.
it's a lot of fun to go geocaching again with the shorter days. And I love getting out into the night caching. Not that I do it as much as I should.
Well, we'll have our turn back. Do we already do that?
No, that's in November.
No, that's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have our fall back, which means, it'll get dark here in the Northwest, like 4 p.m. So we've got a lot of night coming up. That's a great time to do night caching.
Absolutely. And we've got the annual event for Halloween time. That's
mm-hmm.
coming up in just a few weeks. So I'm really excited, especially with as tough as it's been to get to events lately. This is going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. More caches to find, more night caching. And this year I'm going to try to do a video on it. Last year we tried to live stream,
mm-hmm.
which was a total failure. This year, hopefully we can do some edited video for the channel and kind of give people a sense of what the event is like. Because it's not like there's anything really special about this event,
mm-hmm.
aside from it's a Halloween event after dark with lots of cachers going out and finding new caches. How awesome
and tripping over each other.
Yes.
Well, that happens true. In the light. So at least with me, I don't know. Maybe you're different. Maybe it's different out in Michigan.
Well, and it's a good time to try out those nerdy headband lights. Night lights.
Yeah, they're okay. I prefer a really good.
I just use a flashlight when I'm out geocaching. I use the headband ones when I'm walking the dog.
Okay.
Because that way I need both hands more often.
One for the phone, one for the dog.
Well, one for the poopy bag and one for the dog. Yeah. But, it's just so much fun to get out and cache in the dark.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you give a fun theme like Halloween, and it just gets even better. But talking about the dark, we are going to Giff 2021 tonight with our special guest, Ari 54321. And I probably just absolutely butchered the way that we're supposed to say the numbers.
Yeah, you got the message across.
Daryl, it's a countdown.
It's a countdown.
Try it again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that makes more sense. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Actually, it's just swiping on the keyboard, but countdown works too.
See, I was just so excited because On a Boat is even more excited than we are that you're here tonight. And he had to show up, I think, specifically to see you. So you're more famous and more of a draw than we with our, piddly little show over here.
Exactly.
I'm following him. I met him 2 weeks ago, and now I'm just showing up everywhere.
Ooh.
We call that stalking, not following. It's different.
Oh, shoot. That's illegal,
but it's cyber stalking, so it's not illegal in most states yet.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't make it right, but it's not illegal.
Right. You have some time to perfect it. And then you have to worry about it. Anyway, wow. That took a nasty turn real quick. But we're here to talk about
the gearheads.
We're just all about the random wrongness these days. But we're here to talk about the official GIF events and the GIF reels and everything, which I'm so excited to have back for 2021. Just maybe we'll start off with a little bit of a history because we didn't have a 2020 GIF event.
Yes, that is correct. We didn't do GIF 2020. The main reason was because we knew that we were going to be so busy with the 20th celebration event. It's kind of an all hands on deck preparations thing. And so we decided as a company that we would take a year off of GIF for 2020. And then, COVID hit. So that ended up not working out. But, we wouldn't have been able to have GIF in the way that we had it previously. So, it didn't happen last year, but we are very excited to bring GIF back this year, 2021.
Awesome. By the way, Houston, Texas Dave says it's a geo follower. That way it's not going to be illegal.
Anyway. Here's an interesting question. Because GSM times 2 wants to know how you pronounce GIFF.
I pronounce it the right way.
Or the proper way is actually GIF. That way you cover all.
So I hear.
Bases. Yes.
I do say GIF for the record.
GIF. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And he said you shouldn't let Ari introduce himself in case people doesn't know who he is. Oh,
and
why would
I
anyone want to know who he is?
It doesn't matter. No. Ari, why don't you tell us what you do? We know because you're wearing a shirt, you must be a lackey.
Yes, I have verification right there. So my name is Ari. Ari54321 is my username. I've been caching 10 years, and I got hired at Geocaching HQ a year ago, last September. My job is guest experience coordinator, which is supposed to be the person in the visitor center greeting visitors and doing all those things. But of course, I haven't done the actual job I was hired for just yet. Don't worry, they have me busy with lots of other stuff. But so the other things I'm doing are various projects, namely Adventure Lab support. So doing customer support for Adventure Lab. And GIF is my other big thing. So I'm the organizer for GIF this year. And for those who might not know, I don't think we've actually said the full name yet. It's the Geocaching International Film Festival. And this is a regularly occurring, used to be annual, but now it's, we took off 2020. So a regular event that we do. That's pretty much my story.
Well, and one of the things that struck me was last year, I think it was, they released the best of GIF reel with clips from, or I think it was a different reel, but it had all of the winners from all of the GIFs.
Yes, yeah, we did release that. So we basically, it was 2020 and we were like, we wish we had Giff this year. So what did we do? We looked back into the archives and we took the top 3 films from each year and put them all together in a best of Giff reel. And we published it on YouTube. It's almost 2 hours. So it's a nice kind of movie night length feature film, and it's a great way to see some of the best films throughout GIF history. And it's all on
one of the things that struck me about it, though, was how few GIF events there actually are, because it just feels like GIF has been around forever. But it wasn't until I think the first of the block parties that it started. So it was like year 11, and I just assumed that we would be having our 10th GIF event. But no, it only came out to be like 7 or 8, I think, GIF events.
2013 was the first year that GIF happened, and that's when it was one event here in Seattle after the block party. Now, I wasn't here, so I don't have the full story. You'll have to go elsewhere to get the full story on the history of GIF.
What
but
was the first one, though, delayed because of rain?
I think so. I don't remember which.
I don't remember if it was the first or second. Yeah,
it was either the first or second, but there was a torrential rainstorm and the event got canceled, and so they decided to make it go global, and that's how we got the format that we have now, where anyone can host a GIF event, and it's more of a global thing rather than just in Seattle. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was the very first one, and it got rained out at the Waterworks Park, which I thought was very appropriate.
It wasn't actually at. Well, he might be thinking like Gasworks, but it wasn't there.
Oh, Gasworks.
It was just around the corner from HQ.
Yeah, the legend has been Waterworks Park.
And
well, when it was raining, it was Waterworks.
It was Waterworks Parks. I remember
it was renamed for that one year.
They had an inflatable screen and it began to float away.
See, and I remember the pictures of that.
Yeah, I think GSM Times 2 is right. I think it was the second one.
I believe it's right.
The 2014 one, because 2013 went great, and that's why we did it the next year.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it was such a welcome change to have it in the local events. And I think I've been to GIF events every year, except for this one. I don't look like I'm going to be able to get to one because we don't have one close enough for me to make it to.
You need to host one then, Daryl.
Yeah, and we were kind of talking about that pre-show, and it's no secret, Chris, you've been looking at trying to get a theater to do it. And this is actually kind of a good segue, because if there aren't any events, there is still a chance to get those listed. Am I correct?
What do you mean listed?
But to get the event listed and tagged as a GIF event.
I'm not sure what you mean. So
we're down to roughly about 3 or 4 weeks. As of this recording, but we're with the standard listing guidelines that say 2 weeks out, so we can still list an event to be a GIF event as long as we can come up with all the necessary accoutrement.
Yeah, and so that really brings me to the biggest change with GIF this year, which is that this year, because of the current situation, we made the souvenir a virtual souvenir that you can get from watching the reel. So this year, there's no requirement to go to an event if you are unable to, or if events are not safe in your area. And so that will allow everyone to participate in GIF and enjoy the reel and do everything that you would like to do with GIF. Without requiring people to go to an actual event. So if it's safe to host an event in your area, you're welcome to submit an event, as you might have done in years past. And so, as you were saying, the deadline is 2 weeks before, as with any other geocaching event. And then you have to submit it as a GIF event in a separate process on the on the GIF website. And that's that, essentially.
Okay.
Sweet. Pizza Ninja says that someone should do a drive-in theater GIF. That would be awesome. And I think someone did actually do that one year.
They're doing it. Yeah, so they did it in 2018. I went to one. It was actually a mega event in Germany, because there were so many people that showed up. It wasn't a mega event the way most people think of a mega event. It just happened to have more than 500 people there. But that was great. And they're doing that again over there in Cologne. But maybe there will be more this year. I don't know.
Hopefully. And it kind of really makes makes a lot of sense for this, but I'm just envisioning a paddle-in theater. Give homage to the origin of the global GIF phenomenon by having a paddle-in theater.
That's right.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be hard this time of year, right? November, it here in the Northwest, it gets dark early, but it probably also rains. So you don't want to sit in a boat.
I'm thinking it's the perfect thing for, like our listeners down in Australia and New Zealand.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Why not Florida?
Pizza Ninja says they would show, or would they show Jaws at the paddle-in theater
as the opener?
Yeah. Yes, but not for the GIF event, because it has nothing to do with geocaching, and it has to have geocaching content. Which actually, that's probably something else to talk about for people who aren't familiar with the Geocaching International Film Festival. What are the films like? What can people expect to see?
So expect a wild ride. No, so it's we have 17 finalists this year. So they're short films. There's a maximum of 4 minutes per film, and there are no creative constraints on what you can do within the 4 minutes. There are certain guidelines, like it has to be family friendly. You can't be showing brand names and being all commercial and using it as an advertisement, things like that. But other than that, people do all kinds of things with it. So the only other requirement really is that it has to be related to geocaching. So we see all sorts of really creative films. And yeah, it's great. This year's submissions, we had a really great group of submissions. We had 60 submissions from 15 different countries. And among the 17 finalists, there are 9 countries represented. And yeah, the lackeys who do all the judging and the reviewers who we also ask to help out with the judging, we're really excited about this year's group of videos. So it'll be a great time.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Are there any videos that you think we should look out for this year?
Yes, but I'm not going to tell you. Because you'll watch all of them and make your own decision.
See, I'm going to try to get people in trouble. That's my job tonight.
Now, Ari, did you sit down and watch every video?
I watched all 61 submissions twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how many times did you end up watching the finalists?
Probably another couple times, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times, 3 times. I don't know. It's hard to keep track when you've watched a video 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not as bad as actually doing the editing of the videos, but it's still going to be a lot of work putting that together and planning it all out.
Definitely. And it was pretty difficult to narrow down the entries because, we start with 60 and then we narrow it down to a smaller group. And then we do an actual judging process where we get lackeys to judge and vote. But the whole process, it can be very difficult to make a decision when you have such a strong group of submissions.
And of course, the reason everyone is submitting all of these really excellent videos is because of the huge monetary prizes provided. Oh,
yes. Yeah. Huge prize. You get a geocaching premium membership if you're a finalist. You also get a Giff coin, which I think is an even better prize. But that's just because I hoard geo coins. If you don't hoard geo coins, it's not as appealing of a prize.
Well, and this year, you can actually use it as your clapboard if you're trying to produce your own for next year. Oh, see, Chris, you've got the one from last year.
Yes.
Or 2 years ago, actually.
2 years ago, yeah.
See, yours is non-functional. There's nowhere to put the film.
Yours doesn't have a clapboard.
Yeah.
No,
see,
but
this one we can actually use.
Got a gnome. Here, wait, I have to hold it just right to show the gnome.
The only problem is it's heavy enough that you might hurt your finger for those silent scenes.
Well, this I lost grip. This is a silent movie camera.
Well,
So,
yes.
You can take silent movies on this because, well, there's no sound.
Well, no, because there's nowhere for the film. There's also no gate.
It's the same with the phone. There's no place for the film.
Okay, you did get me there. Okay, so there's no place for an SD card either.
I have an iPhone. There's no place for an SD card.
Where's the SIM?
This one doesn't have one. It's an eSIM.
Well, yes, but it still has a SIM slot.
It does, but it doesn't have a SIM in it.
Yes, but your camera doesn't have the SIM slot.
Oh. No,
it doesn't have Wi-Fi. Doesn't have a port, so there's no way.
How do you know it doesn't have Wi-Fi? You could be
receiving one of those.
Wi-Fi right now. It's metal. It's an antenna. You want to keep arguing? I got this one.
I think we lost Houston, Texas Dave because he doesn't know what phlegm is.
Yeah. It's
that stuff that you get when you cough a lot. Anyway. Wow.
I did tell you the time I was in Best Buy and a little old lady came in and wanted to buy more film for her camera phone because she couldn't take any more pictures.
No, you did not tell me about that one.
Then the salesman happily sold her an SD card. How about a little management lesson? But no, go ahead and sell that SD card. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that was years ago. But nonetheless, she wanted film for her camera phone.
Yeah, how many times have you gotten those kind of questions before from people who just don't understand technology?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway. So
back to the wonderful prizes. An entire
year. I think we finished the prizes.
An entire year of geocaching premium access.
Right, to the winner.
Yes, indeed.
So, there's your giant monetary prize.
Yeah.
So get your ideas ready for next year, because next year you too could get a free year membership.
That's right.
And a gift coin.
And you get the glory of having. There's also a badge you can put on your profile that says Giff finalist, and that's an exclusive badge that only gets sent to the finalists. So, and we know that geocachers like badges on their profile.
Yes,
they do. Yep. Yeah, and I keep thinking, one of these days I'm going to do a GIF film, and I just never do, and I probably never will.
Well, with that attitude, you won't.
Right.
Like I have next year.
Like I have the time to put together a GIF film. Yeah, I've got the vlogs down to quick, cuts only, editing, and a little bit of work. Putting together one of these films actually does take some serious effort, especially if you're going to be a finalist.
That was one of the things that I really noticed from the reel of past winners is how the quality has increased over the years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's come so far, and we're not talking just about the camera quality, because that's come a long way as well, but the production quality has really come up. But you'll even see that, to be honest, with a lot of the YouTube stuff. Look at the production quality of YouTube from 14 years ago to the stuff that's going out today. And it's amazing because a lot of the people doing some of the better productions aren't putting that much time into it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the earlier stuff is. So it's just people, I think, are becoming better and more aware, and the tools are better. So it all gets a lot easier. But yeah, it's one of those. I always come up with these like awesome ideas for films, usually a couple of hours after I watch the other films.
Right.
By the time it comes around to GIF entry, I've totally forgotten what those were.
Well, that's when you need to write them down and start processing it right away. While you've got the creative juices flowing.
The problem is I don't write it on Write in the Rain paper.
Oh,
And then by the time it comes around, I've already used that log sheet in a different cache anyway. Oh boy, we're just
Ari,
getting crazy.
the Pickle Ninja says, you have any tips for those wanting to submit a film?
Good question.
I think we talked a little bit about the guidelines, right? It has to be family friendly.
That would be the
Can't
first
promote
tip
things.
is read the rules. We have rules on the Giff website, and make sure you read them, because there were some submissions this year we had to disqualify because they didn't read the rules, and there was some little thing like it was over 4 minutes, or little things that you wouldn't think are a problem, but they are, because you have to read the rules. So that's the first tip. And then just be creative, and as you guys were saying, don't fuss about having the best camera equipment. Don't go buy a $300, $500 camera, whatever. Use your phone and use the tools you have, because really the camera quality can help to a point, but if you don't have a really great creative film underlying it, even the best camera, a movie studio camera, you're still not gonna do well if you don't have a good idea. So start brainstorming now, and think of the ideas, write them down on Write in the Rain paper, or
hold on to it.
Your preferred waterproof system of writing, and start working. You don't have to wait till the call for submissions or when we open the Giff submissions to start working on a film. So yeah.
Well, one of the reasons that I always waited was the first few years that I'd considered it, there were actually themes to the Giff events.
Yeah.
And of course, when I was actually considering it and remembered what I wanted to do, my theme or my idea never fit the theme. So then I had to come up with something else. And next thing I knew, it was like a week before, and it's like, no, I'm not going to do it. So it does take some planning, and you have a full year. Yeah. And we've seen some really amazing films where a lot of it is shot throughout a year or so, when people are going out on some really great adventures, and they just put together these amazing highlight reel, essentially, turning it into a story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Another tip I would say is we've seen a lot of films that highlight kind of FTF hunts and things like that. And I think a lot of people, I think there's still some good stuff there, but it's a lot more difficult to differentiate yourself when you use that format. So that's something to be wary of, when you're considering different ideas. Look at, do some research, go on YouTube and look at all the past Giff reels and see what people have done in the past. And then, come up with something different. Easier said than done, but,
Yeah, and comedy is awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
We see a lot of really funny ones, but comedy doesn't necessarily transfer well. So be kind of careful with that kind of stuff. So, more than a few of them have been kind of rom-coms, if you will. I think that's kind of a little old, but it's kind of fun at the same time. And, it's just good family entertainment if done right.
Yep.
Jennifer, and I can't remember her caching name, says, I'm a finalist. I'm in a finalist film this year, and it was such a fun experience. And apparently I can't read anymore.
Those are important skills, Daryl. Those are some of the first to go.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so for those of us who aren't going to be able to attend a Giff event this year or host one, the video, the reel is actually going to be available on YouTube much sooner than it has been in the past. What are we looking at for that to appear?
So November 22nd, that's the day after Giff events are over, at 6 p.m. UTC. So that's 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern time in the US. We will post the Giff reel on the Geocaching YouTube channel. And at that point, anyone can watch it. And of course, you can discover the trackable, which will get you the Giff 2021 souvenir. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so you discover a trackable and that gets you the souvenir?
Yes, that's right.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
So
if you go to an event you can't just log the event and get the souvenir this time.
Right.
You have
Correct.
to log the trackable.
Correct. If you want the souvenir, you log the trackable that's in the Giff reel. So you have to be paying attention so you don't miss it. I'm sure if you're at an event, you'll probably have people to remind you when it's on the screen. But yeah, it's not tied to the actual events this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you'll always have
the first time. Oh, sorry, Daryl. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you always have the chance to go back and hit that YouTube video and do it as well if you happen to miss it on screen and no one else managed to catch it and pass it off.
Yep.
Is this the first time we've had a souvenir tied to a trackable?
No, the first time is the Mars Perseverance rover earlier this year.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Pizza Ninja says, what's the trackable code? He's ready now.
Oh yeah, let me just pull it up here and read it out to you.
Try.
We have the cool little clapperboard trackables that we can give you. Doesn't get you a souvenir, but it's a cool little clapperboard. Speaking of which, there is, which I didn't realize there was that's not a clapperboard.
No, but it's needed.
It's part of the whole kit.
Right.
You know, every year you come out with new one. One of the coins was a director's chair, wasn't it? With a gnome sitting in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got the director's chair, you've got the camera. Now we've got the clapperboard. Next year
with
it's
a
going to
gnome
be like,
sitting on top of it.
Right. Well, everything has the gnome.
Yes.
Or is that the spike to, kill your enemies?
It's also on the back right there with the
yeah. So awesome.
Get this straight.
I love this one.
Yeah.
This is one of the better ones. But next year it's going to be something like the gnome holding the boom with the microphone.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll add that.
I was thinking popcorn, but I like the boom. Yeah.
Well, I thought we already did popcorn.
I think popcorn has been done.
Okay.
Yeah, but now we need our whole little gnome production crew.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We need the editor. So maybe it's going to be one of those nice old reel-to-reel editors because it is actually still the film camera.
Well, you don't want a geocaching with a person hunched over a computer looking at Final Cut Pro?
Oh, Houston, Texas Dave wants to know what the story is behind the gnome.
That is a good question. I don't actually know the story behind the gnome. I know that
you don't know it.
No, I don't know the story. You're right. I know that gnomes have become inextricably linked with Giff at this point. Ever since the gnome character became associated with Giff, I think everyone at HQ has just fallen in love with it, and so the gnomes are here to stay. But I don't remember the gnome story, unfortunately.
Well, I'm racking my brain to see if I can remember what it was. And I seem to remember one of the early GIF posters being that person, like looking around at the gnome. So I'm wondering if that's all it is. Is it kind of hit as like the first icon that was advertised?
Yeah.
And Michael says, kind of like hamsters in the server room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do
my favorite geocaching video ever. It's that one. And now that I work there, I have one of those hamsters at my desk. It's great. It's a dream come true. Becoming a lackey, having a geocaching hamster at my desk, now that's a real win.
Yeah, no kidding. Now you have free power and you just need to, scale up by getting some more and then you have even more power.
Exactly.
Anyway, there is a store that I wasn't even aware that you could get a link to the store of all the GIF items.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool. And, I love the clapperboard, which also comes with a trackable tag. And we always get all of the other geocaching
the tag that comes with it. If I can focus it correctly.
If you can find the camera, there you go.
If I can find the camera
with the bag of popcorn. See, we still have the popcorn on the coin.
I'm so bad at holding this straight. Wow. We also have.
It really is a skill that takes some time.
Yes, I've never practiced this skill before. We also have a regular travel tag,
which I have several of those that I'm going to be releasing this year.
Here's the camera. I should just look at where the camera is before I put things there. We have also a trackable nano charm.
See, and like my
Nice.
wife and one of our friends actually introduced us to him, has all of those charms from the various events, and that is so cool. It's such a great oh, I'm trying to come up with the right word, and that's escaping me now too. But a great way to remember all of those events is, get these little cool charms, and each one is trackable.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how popular you are at one of those meet and greet events.
Or imagine if you turn this into earrings and you had one on each ear, and then you had people discovering your ears.
Okay, that might get a little bit too close personal space wise. Remember, we are nerds and geeks.
I've seen it done
we need
before,
our personal
though,
space.
the thing. I've seen people do exactly that.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, and I think I got my wife a pair of the globe earrings that are trackable.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not new.
No, it's not.
And I think those were on the geocaching, shop geocaching at some point too. There's always fun stuff over there.
All this stuff, yeah.
And a good way to blow your paycheck.
Oh, absolutely. I can attest to that. Patch also. So if you like patches, we've got patches for you.
Great to put on your camera bag.
Yes, exactly. And then we have a wooden nickel as well. These are not trackable, but they're just a fun Giff souvenir. And
they don't go so well on the camera bag.
No. Yeah. So that's
awesome.
That's that.
And now I'm excited to find out what next year's coin is. I am actually kind of hoping for the move a roll. Yeah, I know. But I've had this one for like a month now, and I'm so excited because I finally get to use it because I've been holding on to it for this show.
Right. Awesome.
Ooh. I'm thinking I might have to actually use it in a GIF video next year.
Oh. Bring geocoins to life.
Pizza Ninja says, this is getting me thinking I should wear some Mr. T caliber gnome bling to wear. That right there is a whole GIF video. Which we should note is one of the other things. Music is a little bit tricky with the GIF submissions for a very good reason, because you have to have the rights to do it.
Yep. Yeah, you have to make sure you have the intellectual property rights to really everything that goes into your film, whether it's a GIF film or not, actually. But yeah.
Daryl, write that down now.
I was just going to say that he was going to make me do that. Well, the problem is Pizza Ninja is not in my area, so we're going to have to book the flights and schedule all that too.
That's okay. Go ahead.
But I also need to hire some fantastic musical act to produce the music for it and sign over the rights.
Yes. Or there's also free open source music online.
Yeah, but that's not going to be as much fun.
But yeah,
you know a couple of guys, Daryl.
Yeah, we do. But for the Mr. T gnome bling, that seems like it needs its own custom song. Though I'm sure that's not going to translate well for all of the other languages, because it does have to be available in multi-language.
Yeah. Well, it can be in English as long as it can be translated.
Right. Wait, it has to have the subtitles added.
Yeah.
Okay. Which we don't have to do, fortunately.
Yes. What, you don't speak Latvian?
No.
Well, that was good, Daryl. That almost sounded Latvian.
I was just going to ask, do you have any idea what the process is for creating those translations?
Yeah, we have a amazing team of volunteer translators that translate everything for geocaching. And one of their favorite projects actually is the GIF subtitles, because they get early access to the reel, and then they can translate the reel. And so that's how that gets done.
See, and I was envisioning this like very secretive process where you had to transcribe the videos, then you broke them up into like single sentences
Oh, right.
and
Yeah.
scattered them around so that no one would know the subject of any of the videos.
That would be a much
Yeah, and I
more
would have
secure
believed
process.
it if you.
Maybe we should
Yeah, I
try
would have
that
believed
next
it if
year.
you said that.
We send them in snail mail envelopes because digital communications can't be trusted.
That's right.
Well, it can always be sniffed, and then you can put it back together because you track it all back to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go and mail the envelopes from all different spots across the globe, so that it can never be.
Can't wait till some of them get lost in the mail.
GSM Times 2 says you don't use Google Translate.
No,
that would be a whole different type of GIF event.
Yeah,
it would be interesting.
You've seen the YouTube songs, right? Where they take an English song, run it through Google Translate a few times and back. And
yes. There are some amazing ones, especially like those classic songs. I was just watching one of them the other day. I had to turn it off because it was so bad. But it's like one of those like 70s, 80s songs. It's just kind of, it was Eye of the Tiger, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was just terrible. It had nothing to do with this subject. Not even close to the right words. Anyway. But we couldn't use that in GIF because it's, not public domain and we don't have the rights to it.
Well, you can always hire the Pizza Ninja. He'll hum one mean soundtrack. Just saying.
Yeah, as long as you can't identify it as another song, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're getting way too silly, though, so I think we better wrap this one up. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we take off, Ari?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think I have everything covered. If you want to learn more about GIF in general, just go to the GIF website, which is geocachingfilmfestival.com. I'm sure that's in the notes as well.
We'll have that in the show notes along with the event list, so people can check out if they have one near them, how far it's going to be.
Yep. But yeah, enjoy the reel. It's a really great group of films this year.
We have to take your word for it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and Houston, Texas, Dave says host a GIF.
Yes.
And next year you have to submit a GIF. Our goal next year is to make Ari hate the GIF because he has so many submissions. So everyone who ever watches this show, anyone who ever listens to this show has to create at least one GIF film to submit to Ari next year.
That's an official challenge. You have to do it. Not challenge cash. No. We're not going there.
No,
it's just a challenge.
Thank you.
Awesome. That would be so much fun. Anyway, check the Caching Maniacs website at cachingmaniacs.com for more on the Geo Gearheads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by emailing geogearheads@cachingmaniacs.com or through social media. Your support help keeps the Caching Maniacs shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Caching Maniacs shows. Geo Gearheads is produced by Chris Stefanower and Daryl Wanberg. This show is copyright 2021 by Daryl Wanberg. All rights reserved.
Cash with the Caching Maniacs.